Hello channel viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel Neat. In this episode, we're going to feature the INFP on our MBTI series. So in our theory, we have 9 levels of MBTI for every MBTI type. That is to say, all individuals, no matter what your MBTI type is, you will fall into any one of these 9 levels based on your MBTI type. So we're going to talk about INFP level 1 all the way to level 9, with levels 1 to 3 being the heroic state of the INFP, levels 4 to 6 being the equilibrium state of the INFP, and levels 7 to 9 being the unhealthy or demonic state of the INFP. So after you have watched this episode, you will understand which level you are actually functioning at. Hopefully, all of you are functioning at least from level 1 to 6. Let's start with the heroic state of the INFP from level 1 to 3. So whenever I have a real life example, I will put it over here because it will be sometimes very difficult to pronounce the names that I've researched. The level 1 INFP can be called the Dream Weaver. Such a romantic name. So the role of the INFP level 1 is a visionary storyteller. They tend to alchemize pain into art. This is the person who will turn sorrow into a piece of sculpture. So a strength of the INFP at this stage is, I can see the world as it could have been. They could not make hard decisions, especially those that could tarnish the dream. As a result, an INFP 1 usually might avoid hard decisions. A level 2 INFP is called the empath. At this level, the role of the INFP is primarily to heal wounded souls. A strength of the INFP at this stage is, I can feel what you can't say. But there's also a very big weakness. This INFP tends to absorb too much toxicity. So, at the end of the day, they could risk a burnout. A level 3 INFP is the rebel poet. They could challenge injustice, corruption with beauty. I weaponize truth in metaphors. It's the strength of this INFP. However, the weakness of this INFP is that they can romanticize suffering, making it seem as if suffering is something that should be condoned or it's something desirable. Regardless, all the 3 levels that we have discussed, they are in the healthy state, they are in the heroic state. The key trait describing all these 3 types of INFP is that they can see the unseen. They believed in the unseen. Now we're going to talk about the next 3 states. The next 3 states for any MBTI type would be the equilibrium states, level 4 to 6. The level 4 INFP is the wanderer. So the wanderer tends to seek meaning in solitude, like the backpacking philosopher. They will say something like, I refuse to settle for hollow norms. But one very visible weakness is that they might end up in an endless search. Endless search for meaning, this endless search for whatever that they are searching for can really paralyze them. A level 5 INFP is the bitter idealist. So at this level, the INFP, they are disillusioned, but they are still fighting. This is the activist who's losing hope but still want to do it one more time. So while they are idealists, at this level, the INFP can be realist. They can understand, they can see that the system is broken. So this is a strength. But they also have a weakness, and that is when cynicism replaces creation. The level 6 INFP is the guilt-ridden INFP. They become overly responsible for other people. So the people pleaser could be such an INFP. Note that they are at level 6, which is still a functioning INFP, a bit a lower functioning INFP, but still considered acceptable. So what is the strength of the level 6 INFP? They would say something like, I won't let you suffer alone. But here comes the weakness. They could self-sabotage because of misplaced loyalty. They may trust the wrong people, they might want to help a friend who's not worth helping, and in the process, they undergo self-sabotage. A key trait of INFPs at levels 4 to 6 is that they may ask this question, why is reality so cruel to the beautiful? Now moving on, we have levels 7 to 9, which refer to the demonic states of the INFP. A level 7 INFP is undergoing SI grip. They are the nostalgia junkies. What is a nostalgia junkie? INFPs at this level always revisits the past. They revisit history. They go through the pain again and again. So this obsession in revisiting past wounds is not healthy. They will feel trapped. They will say something like, I'll never love again after that betrayal. A level 8 INFP undergoes TE explosion. So this is the self-righteous crusader. A level 8 INFP tends to force ideals on others. They will say something like, if you don't agree, you are evil. So a level 8 INFP might start or campaign a cancelling culture. And they will try to enforce it. A level 9 INFP, the worst, most unhealthy INFP, is the martyr. A martyr undergoes inferior extinction. So when this happens, the INFP will self-destruct just to prove a point. Like a starving artist who refuses any form of help. They might say something like, the world doesn't deserve my light. So a key trait of INFPs in the lower levels would be, I'd rather burn than ban. So if you are an INFP or know of an INFP, which of these 9 levels do you most commonly see yourself in or see this INFP in? Do let me know by dropping in the comments. So this is actually part 1 of the INFP series. In our next episode, we will go on to talk about how an INFP in the lower states, in the demonic states, can actually pull himself or herself up into equilibrium positions again, and how anybody in the equilibrium position can also move up into the heroic state, and how if you are at the heroic state can maintain being in the heroic states. So do watch out for that episode. So at Channel Need, we produce a lot of MBTI videos such as this one. If you've enjoyed this video or you find this useful, do give us a like. If you have not already subscribed, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more INFP and fun stuff. Okay, I'm going to sign off now and I'll see you in our next episode. Bye bye.